in kind of the opposite of a concatenate, sometimes you have values in a cell that you would really rather have separated. This is really common with names like this. Again, toy data set, watching the Olympics, etc. But, if you have your names like this, where both the first name and the last name are in that same cell, but you wanted to sort by last name, that would be challenging to do. But it is possible to separate those two text sections by using a series of functions. So if your names are in this format, so where you have first name and then last name, and you'd like to separate them into first name column, last name column, we are going to use a function that starts off, not with plus, with left, meaning that we want the thing to the left of what we're going to be specifying. That makes sense because Katie is on the left-hand side of the name. Then we're going to specify what cell we're looking at. So we're looking at this cell. Then we're going to use the find function. And we're going to say, please find the space, so quotation marks, space, quotation marks, and that's asking it to find that space right in between those names. Where do I want you to find it? I want you to find it in that cell, please. And then I want you to go to one character to the left of that thing. And then if we hit enter, all of that gives us our first name. And we can autofill that down. So we got the bit to the left. And again, we're saying that the thing separating those two names is that space. So that is kind of the reference for left-hand side, right-hand side. We can do something very similar to get the last name, only this time we're looking to the right of that space, right? Because the last name comes to the right of that space indicator. And again, we're going to say, please look here for that text. This time, though, we are going to do, not length, the length of this, and then subtract from that, again, find the space of this. So we're saying, please look in this cell, get the entire length of that, and then subtract away from it the length of this. And so it's going to return that. Let me count there we go. Got enough close parentheses there. And we go there. It returns back the last name. And again, we can autofill that down. But what if your names are like this? What if they're separated by something other than just a space, or if they're in, the opposite order? So in this way, we're going to look for the first name when it's in last name, first name. We're going to look to the right of our separator, because right-hand side, left-hand side. And this one is going to look similar to this function. So first we need to say, please look in this cell, because that's the cell we're interested in right now. And go ahead and get the total number of characters in that cell. We're going to subtract away from that the point at which we have the comma, space, so notice I have both of those things in there, in that cell. And we have closed all our parentheses, and that returns back the first name. And again, we can autofill that down. The trick here is if we're looking at this right here, we have both a comma and a space as our separator. So we need to indicate that by having both a comma and a space as kind of the thing that's saying, hey, this is what is splitting those two pieces of text. And then to get the last name, it's going to be on that left-hand side. So it's going to be similar to the first name up here. So we're going to do to the left. We would like to please use the text from here. We need you to please find the comma space. Where I want you to find it, I want you to find it in that cell. And then I want you to take one away from it. And close my parentheses, and we see that we get the last name, which we can also autofill.